Nelson Bay Caves at the beginning of this walk is not to be missed, and it will explain the geology and earlier settlement of this area. A visit to the Nelson Bay Caves is really one of the things that you should do when you come down to Plettenberg Bay. I've just been down towards the viewing area they give you down in the cave itself, and they've given you a very good little structure of what the prehistory in this cave was from about 120,000 years ago up until today. You can see the levels, and they've really made a nice glass display down there for you to see exactly what it looked like, who the people were that were inside this cave, what they ate, and probably the tools that they used and so on. You can see everything down there in the display unit that they've got down there in the cave. A visit very worth the while. The Robberg Walk in the Robberg Nature Reserve is one of the most popular destinations in the Garden Route area. Right at the start of this adventure, you will find ample safe parking and washrooms with clean drinking water. You can decide to do a short or a long route, or simply turn around at any given time. Situated close to Plettenberg Bay, it enables the hiker to spectacular sea views to the east and west. Stainless steel hand railings have been installed on the more challenging portions to assure the safety of all hikers. About a third of the way in the Robberg Walk, this is one of the vistas then that welcomes you to the place called the Gap. And you can see why they call it the Gap. There's a definite crack here that separates the further point south and this point to the north of it. You can encounter some really interesting fauna and flora along this route, both on land and in the ocean. The things to look out for on the Robberg Peninsula are the birds, the wildlife, the dassies, the seals. Even if you're lucky, from the top here you might see some sharks or something like that. But please do not discount our flora that you find on this peninsula. This is one of my personal favorites. Just come over here. You can see what it looks like this time of the year with that very fine little flower. And if you take this, you just take a little bit of a twig like that, and you crush it between your fingers like that. Oh. And you smell it. This is the essence of fynbos on a real hot summer's day. You can just smell that buchu. About halfway through the hike, a huge area of sand divides the peninsula and gives the opportunity to cut the distance of the full hike in half by going down to the beach next to the island. This is quite a difficult 4.5 kilometers that you have to come before you get to the point. But just before you think you should give up, then you see some whales off to the side, you smell this beautiful honey bush, and you see Whale Rock in the distance, and then you know you're right close to the end. We just completed the fantastic Robberg Walk. There's a few little words of advice that I can give people that want to do this thing for the first time. The first, if it's a nice sunshiny day like today, guys, please take at least 1.5 liters to 2 liters worth of water with you. And last but not least is make sure that every so often you stop and take a look around you just to see maybe a whale in the ocean, a bird in the bush, whatever. There's a lot of stuff to look at. Don't just look ahead of you and follow the steps forward. We'll see you next time on Derek's Diary.